What separates businesses that remain small from those that break into the $1 million mark? Is it luck, timing, or a secret strategy hidden from the average entrepreneur? The truth is, scaling your business to 7 figures isn't about chance. It's about intentional growth, smart systems, and learning to think like a leader who operates at a higher level. Many business owners hustle day and night, yet they plateau, stuck at the same revenue year after year, because growth beyond a certain level requires a shift. A shift in mindset, a shift in systems, and a shift in strategy. If you've been searching for the blueprint to take your business from where it is today into a powerful, predictable, and profitable 7-figure operation, you're in the right place. This audiobook will walk you step by step into the principles, habits, and strategies that allow ordinary businesses to experience extraordinary growth. It's not just about making more money. It's about creating freedom, sustainability, and impact. Chapter 1. The mindset of a 7-figure entrepreneur. Before you can scale your business to 7 figures, you must first scale your mind. Every successful entrepreneur who has broken the $1 million barrier understands that the journey starts not with strategies, but with how you think, act, and make decisions. The truth is, your current mindset created your current result. If you're stuck at 5 figures or 6 figures, it's because your thinking is aligned with that level of success. To reach 7 figures, you need to upgrade the operating system of your mind. Think about this. A 7-figure entrepreneur doesn't view problems the way a struggling business owner does. When challenges arise, most small entrepreneurs ask, "Why is this happening to me?" or "How can I survive this?" But a 7-figure entrepreneur asks, "What system can I build so this problem never slows me down again?" This shift from survival thinking to systems thinking is critical. Vision beyond survival. A small business owner thinks about making enough to cover expenses. A 7-figure entrepreneur thinks about creating long-term impact. Instead of asking, "How do I make money this month?" they ask, "How do I design a business that grows with or without me?" This doesn't mean ignoring short-term profits. It means refusing to be trapped by them. When your vision is small, your strategies will always be limited. But when you commit to building a 7-figure operation, your decisions naturally become bolder, smarter, and more growth-focused. Decisions at scale. At lower levels of business, decisions are often emotional, based on fear, scarcity, or the desire for quick wins. But million-dollar business owners learn to make decisions with scale in mind. They hire not for today's need, but for the next level. They build processes, not for the next 10 sales, but the next 10. They invest in tools and strategies that create leverage, not just temporary relief. Every decision is filtered through one question: will this move me closer to a scalable, predictable business model? Resilience over perfection. Scaling is never a smooth road. Along the way, you'll experience failed campaigns, unexpected expenses, and market shifts. But what sets apart 7-figure entrepreneurs is their resilience. They don't aim to avoid failure. They aim to fail faster, learn quicker, and adapt stronger. This resilience comes from a deep belief that success is inevitable if they keep adjusting and moving forward. Instead of obsessing over perfection, they obsess over progress. Value-driven thinking. Another powerful mindset shift is moving from transactional thinking to value-driven thinking. Many business owners limit themselves by focusing only on, "How do I sell this product or service?" But 7-figure entrepreneurs think in terms of ecosystems. How can I solve bigger problems for my customers? How can I create multiple offers that serve at different levels? How can I deliver such massive value that customers stay with me for years, not weeks? By focusing on value, money becomes the byproduct, not the target. 5. Identity upgrade. Perhaps the most important element is identity. Scaling your business isn't just about what you do, but about who you must become. You must see yourself not as a hustler trying to survive, but as a leader who builds a machine that creates wealth, opportunity, and impact. This means thinking like a CEO, not just a worker. It means stepping back from doing everything yourself, and instead designing systems, hiring teams, and building strategies that outlast your direct effort. When your identity shifts, your actions follow, and when your actions change, your results expand. Scaling to 7 figures is less about adding more hustle, and more about building a new mental framework. This foundation, the mindset of a 7-figure entrepreneur, becomes the soil where strategies, systems, and growth tactics will thrive. Without it, any attempt at scaling will collapse under the weight of old habits and small thinking. That's why before we dive into sales, marketing, and operations, we start here, with you, with your mindset, your vision, and your identity. Because once you think like a 7-figure entrepreneur, the path to building a 7-figure business becomes not just possible, but predictable. Chapter 2: Building Scalable Systems that Multiply Growth. If mindset is the foundation, then systems are the machinery that make scaling possible. You cannot build a 7-figure business on the same systems that worked at 5 or even 6 figures. What used to be manageable when you had 20 clients or 100 orders quickly becomes chaos when you're dealing with 2,000. Scaling requires structure. Without systems, growth doesn't create freedom. It creates burnout. But with the right systems, growth becomes predictable, sustainable, and even automatic. Let's break down what scalable systems really look like and how they separate businesses that plateau from those that skyrocket. The difference between busy systems and scalable systems. Many entrepreneurs believe they already have systems, a way to send invoices, answer emails, or track inventory. But these are basic systems designed for survival. Scalable systems are different. They are designed to technically reduce human error, save time, work without constant supervision, adapt as demand grows. For example, a small business might track customer information in an Excel sheet that works at 20 customers, but at 2,000 it becomes a nightmare. A scalable business sets up a CRM, customer relationship management tool, that automates follow-ups, nurtures leads, and centralizes communication. The rule is simple: if the system depends heavily on you, it's not scalable. 2. Automating the repetitive. Repetition drains creative energy. Every email you manually send, every invoice you personally draft, every appointment you schedule takes away from strategic growth. 7-figure entrepreneurs ask, what am I repeatedly doing that technology could do faster, cheaper, and more accurately? Examples include DEA, automated email campaigns that nurture leads without daily effort, payment gateways that send invoices and receipts instantly, scheduling tools that eliminate back and forth messages. By automating repetitive work, you free yourself to focus on the high-level tasks that actually drive revenue. 3. Standard Operating Procedures, SOP. Scaling also requires predictability. You can't grow if every task is done differently each time. This is where SOPs come in. SOPs are documented step-by-step processes for every critical task in your business. For instance, take how to onboard a new client, how to deliver a service consistently, how to handle customer complaints. When you have SOPs, your team can perform at the same standard, even without your direct involvement. Think of it as cloning your expertise into a manual that anyone can follow. The best companies don't just rely on talent. They rely on systems that produce consistent excellence. Building teams around systems. Here's the mistake many entrepreneurs make. They hire people before creating systems. The result? confusion, inefficiency, and wasted payroll. Seven-figure entrepreneurs reverse this. They build systems first, then plug people into those systems. This way, employees have clear guidelines, measurable expectations, and structured workflows. For example, instead of hiring a salesperson and saying go figure it out, you create a sales process, scripts, CRM tools, lead qualification steps, and follow-up sequences. The salesperson then becomes part of a machine that consistently delivers results. When systems lead and people follow, businesses grow faster and with less chaos. Financial systems that support growth. Many small businesses collapse not because they lack sales, but because they lack financial systems. Scaling requires control over money, not just making more of it. Key financial systems include data, cash flow tracking. Always know your inflows and outflows. Profit allocation. Use frameworks like Profit First to ensure profit is built into every dollar earned. Budget forecasting. Plan for future growth instead of reacting to financial emergencies. Without financial systems, scaling just amplifies mistakes. With them, you create stability that allows for smart investments and sustainable expansion. The power of data-driven decisions. Scalable businesses don't run on gut feelings. They run on data. When you track metrics, you can make informed decisions instead of gambling. Important metrics might include data, customer acquisition cost, CAC, lifetime value of a customer, LT, conversion rates on sales funnels, churn rate of clients. By analyzing data, you can identify what's working, fix what isn't, and double down on proven strategies. Think of data as the dashboard of your business. Without it, you're flying blind. With it, you're in full control. 7. Scaling requires letting go. Here's a hard truth. If you want a seven-figure business, you can't hold on to every task. You must shift from how can I do this to who can do this for me. Many entrepreneurs sabotage their own scaling because they can't let go. They're too busy micromanaging every email, every invoice, every social media post. But true growth requires trust. Trust in your systems, trust in your people, and trust in the process. The role of the entrepreneur at seven figures is no longer to do everything, but to design everything. Your job shifts from worker to architect. 8. Why systems create freedom. Most entrepreneurs start their business for freedom, but end up chained to it. The irony is, the very thing they built to escape the 9-to-5 becomes a 24/7 job. Scalable systems are the exit. They allow your business to generate income, while you focus on vision, innovation, or even take time off. With strong systems, your business becomes a machine that runs consistently, whether you're present or not. This is how wealth is built. Not by working harder, but by building machines that multiply your effort. Scaling is not about doing more. It's about doing less of the repetitive, and building systems that do the heavy lifting for you. When systems replace hustle, growth becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Chapter 3: Mastering Marketing and Sales for Explosive Growth. A business that doesn't sell doesn't scale. No matter how excellent your systems are, no matter how polished your product is, growth depends on the ability to consistently attract customers and convert them into loyal buyers. At the seven-figure level, marketing and sales aren't just tasks. They are engines. And like any engine, if one part fails, the whole machine slows down. Let's dive into how you can build a marketing and sales engine that drives consistent, predictable growth. The shift from random marketing to strategic marketing. Many entrepreneurs rely on hope-based marketing, posting randomly on social media, running occasional ads, or depending on word of mouth. That works in the early stages. But at scale, you need something much stronger. Strategic marketing. Strategic marketing begins with clarity. Who exactly is your ideal customer? What problem keeps them awake at night? Why should they choose your solution over anyone else's? Businesses that scale don't try to reach everyone. They become the obvious solution for someone. They narrow their message, refine their positioning, and dominate a specific space. When your marketing speaks directly to the heart of your audience's pain, growth becomes inevitable. 2. Building a scalable marketing machine. The key to scaling is predictability. That means creating a marketing system that generates leads on autopilot. Instead of chasing customers, you set up pipelines that consistently bring them to you. This might include content marketing, educational, valuable content that establishes you as the authority, paid advertising, scalable campaigns on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google or LinkedIn that attract your ideal customers, email funnels, automated sequences that nurture leads from curiosity to trust, to purchase, social proof systems, reviews, testimonials and case studies that multiply trust without you saying a word. The goal is to turn marketing into a system that runs even while you sleep. 3. Sales. The art of conversion. Marketing creates attention, but sales create revenue. To scale to 7 figures, you must master the art of turning interest into income. The mistake many make is believing sales is about persuasion. In reality, sales is about understanding. The more deeply you understand your customer, the easier it is to present your solution as the obvious choice. The best sales processes follow this sequence. Listen first. Ask questions. Uncover needs. Clarify the pain. Help the customer articulate the problem. Offer the solution. Present your product service as the bridge to their desired outcome. Handle objections calmly. Objections are not rejections. They are requests for clarity. Close with confidence. Guide them into action with certainty. When your sales process feels like a conversation, not a push, conversion rates soar. The power of value ladders. To reach 7 figures, you can't just have one product or service. You need a value ladder. A value ladder is a structured set of offers that take your customer on a journey. A free or low-cost entry point to attract new buyers. A mid-tier product service that delivers real transformation. A premium, high-ticket offer for those ready to go all in. For example, a fitness coach might start with a free ebook, then a $97 course, then a $2,000 coaching program. Each step builds trust and delivers more value. With a value ladder, you maximize lifetime customer value, ensuring each client relationship has the potential to generate exponential revenue. 5. Scaling with partnerships and collaborations. The fastest way to scale isn't always by adding more ads. It's by leveraging relationships. Strategic partnerships can expose your business to thousands of new customers overnight. This might mean collaborating with influencers in your niche, cross-promoting with businesses that share your audience but aren't competitors, joint ventures where both parties benefit from shared audiences and resources. One smart collaboration can achieve what months of ads cannot. Scaling isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter with others. Tracking and optimizing your funnel. Marketing and sales without tracking is like driving blindfolded. You may be moving, but you don't know if you're going in the right direction. That's why successful entrepreneurs constantly track click-through rates, cost per lead, sales conversion percentages, average order value. Creating a brand that sells for you. At the highest levels of business, sales become effortless because your brand does the heavy lifting. A strong brand creates trust before you even speak. It communicates authority, professionalism, and credibility. When people see your logo, hear your name, or visit your website, They should instantly know this is the business I want to work with. Think about Apple, Nike, or Tesla. Their products don't just sell, they sell themselves. Scaling requires moving from transactional selling to brand-driven influence. 8. Building a community of loyal customers. The most profitable businesses aren't those constantly chasing new customers. They are those turning customers into loyal fans. When you build community around your business, you create repeat buyers and brand advocates. This could mean creating private groups where customers connect, offering loyalty rewards, hosting events, webinars or masterminds, giving customers a voice in shaping future products. Loyalty compounds growth. A customer who buys once gives you revenue. A customer who buys repeatedly gives you wealth. These are 9. The 80-120 of scaling sales. Finally, remember this. Not every customer brings equal value. The Pareto principle applies. 80% of revenue often comes from 20. Identify your most profitable offers and your most valuable clients. Double down on them. When scaling, chasing every possible customer is exhausting. Focusing on your top 20% is empowering. Marketing and sales are the lifeblood of a 7-figure business. They are not tasks to be done. They are ecosystems to be mastered. When you build a marketing engine that brings in leads and a sales system that consistently converts them, you create a business that doesn't just grow, it compounds. Chapter 4. Building systems that scale without you. Scaling to 7 figures is not about doing more yourself. It's about building systems that allow the business to run, grow, and thrive without your constant involvement. Too many entrepreneurs become the bottleneck. They try to manage every detail, approve every decision, and personally deliver every result. That works at the 5-figure and maybe even 6-figure level, but it breaks down when you aim higher. At 7 figures, your role must shift from doer to architect. You stop being the one inside the machine, and instead you design the machine. 1. The mindset shift. From operator to CEO. The first barrier to scaling is often mental. Entrepreneurs struggle to let go. They fear that no one else can deliver at their level, or they believe delegation is a risk. But here's the truth. Holding on to everything is the biggest risk. If you don't learn to step back, your growth will always be capped at the limits of your own time and energy. Becoming a CEO means trusting others to handle tasks, empowering your team to take ownership, focusing your energy on vision, strategy and growth, not micromanagement. This mindset shift is the foundation of building scalable systems. Systems ensure consistency, efficiency, and scalability. An SOP, standard operating procedure, is a written, step-by-step instruction for performing a task. Think of it as creating a playbook for your business. For example, how to onboard a new client, how to handle customer complaints, how to run social media campaigns, how to deliver services from start to finish. When every recurring task is documented, your business no longer depends on memory or personality. It depends on system. Anyone on your team can follow the process and deliver results, freeing you from being the only source of knowledge. 3. Automating the repetitive work. Automation is the great multiplier in business. Every task that is automated saves hours of human effort. Examples of automation that scale businesses: TRM automation, automatically tagging, segmenting and following up with leads; email automation, drip sequences that nurture leads without manual effort; project management tools, software that tracks deadlines, assigns tasks and keeps teams aligned; payment systems, automatic invoicing, recurring billing and financial tracking. When you replace manual effort with automated systems, you create consistency, reduce errors, and free up human creativity for high-value work. 4. hiring and delegating with precision. At some point, scaling means building a team. But not just any team. The right team. Many entrepreneurs make the mistake of hiring too late, too cheap, or without clear roles. Here's the golden rule. Hire for outcomes, not tasks. Don't just hire someone to help with marketing. Hire them to increase lead flow by 30% in the next quarter. Don't just hire someone to manage operations. Hire them to cut delivery time from 10 days to 5 days. When you define outcomes, you create accountability. Delegation becomes about results, not just activity. And remember, hiring doesn't always mean full-time employees. You can scale with contractors, freelancers, and agencies. The key is clarity in who does what, how it's measured, and what success looks like. 3. Key metrics. Building a dashboard for scale. One of the most powerful systems you can build is a business dashboard. This is a set of key performance indicators, KPIs, that tell you the health of your business at a glance. Some examples of scaling metrics include: you can log into a dashboard and instantly see where your business is winning and where it's leaking. Data-driven decision-making replaces guesswork, allowing you to scale with precision. 6. The role of technology in scaling. Technology isn't just a tool, it's a force multiplier. Businesses that reach 7 figures quickly almost always leverage the right tech. Examples include TP, project management tools, Asana, Trello, or ClickUp to manage workflows, communication tools, Slack, Zoom, or Teams to streamline collaboration, analytics platforms, Google Analytics, HubSpot, or Mixpanel to measure marketing and sales, financial tools, QuickBooks or Xero for automated accounting. Instead of being buried in emails and manual updates, your business runs on platforms that connect seamlessly, saving time and reducing human error. 7. Eliminating bottlenecks before they break you. Every system has a weak link. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's a slow process. Sometimes it's a team member who holds knowledge no one else has. To scale effectively, you must constantly ask, where are things slowing down? What happens if this person or process disappears? How can we design redundancy into the system? A truly scalable business can withstand shocks. It can survive if a team member leaves, if demand suddenly spikes, or if one system fails. 8. Case study. The franchise mindset. Think of McDonald's. It doesn't matter whether you order in New York, Tokyo, or Nairobi. You'll get the same burger, same fries, same experience. Why? Because the business is built entirely on systems. Franchise models succeed because they remove reliance on individual talent. They rely on processes that anyone can follow. If you want to scale to 7 figures and beyond, think like a franchise. Even if you don't plan to franchise, ask, could someone else replicate this without me? If the answer is yes, you're building scalability, your time as the ultimate system. Finally, one of the most overlooked systems is your own time. Scaling means protecting your time like your most valuable asset. That means blocking time for deep work, eliminating distraction, outsourcing low-value tasks, email sorting, scheduling, admin, saying no to opportunities that don't align with your core vision. Your time sets the rhythm of the business. When you spend it wisely, the business grows wisely. The goal: a self-sustaining machine. At the end of the day, scaling is about building a machine that grows without you having to push every button. The true test of a scalable business is this: can you step away for a month and have the business run smoothly without collapse? If the answer is no, you're not there yet. But once you build the systems, SOPs, automation, dashboards, team structures, you've created freedom. Freedom to scale, freedom to innovate, freedom to build wealth without burning out. Chapter 5. Scaling through marketing mastery. If systems and operations are the backbone of scaling, marketing is the engine that powers it. Without consistent, predictable and scalable customer acquisition, your business will eventually hit a ceiling. You can have the best systems in the world, but if there's no flow of customers, you won't sustain momentum. At the six-figure level, most entrepreneurs grow through word-of-mouth referrals and organic reach. But at the seven-figure level, you cannot rely on randomness. You need a machine that brings in new leads, nurtures them, and converts them into paying customers, again and again. This chapter will take you deep into building that machine. 1. The shift from hustle to strategy. At the early stages, marketing is usually reactive. You post content when you can, run promotions when sales dip, and rely heavily on your personal network. But to scale, you must move from reactive hustle to proactive strategy. That means creating a marketing calendar, setting measurable targets, building predictable funnels, treating marketing as an investment, not an expense. The businesses that scale to seven figures see marketing not as optional, but as the single most important growth lever. 2. The power of positioning. Before we even talk about ads or funnels, we must address positioning. Positioning answers the question, why should customers choose you over anyone else? Scaling businesses master positioning by owning a niche, not trying to serve everyone, but being the best at one thing. Creating a strong brand promise, something that resonates emotionally, solving a clear pain point where the value is undeniable. For example, instead of saying, we're a digital agency, a stronger position is we help coaches scale from 6 to 7 figures with automated client acquisition systems. When your positioning is sharp, marketing becomes easier because your message cuts through the noise. 3. Building scalable marketing funnels. Funnels are the foundation of scalable marketing. A funnel is simply the journey a potential customer takes from discovering you to becoming a buyer. A scalable funnel typically has 3 stages. Bottom of funnel, BFU, conversion, offers, sales calls or checkout processes that close the deal. The magic is not in the funnel itself, but in how well you can optimize each stage to deliver consistent results at scale. In the digital age, content is currency, but not just any content, content with purpose. Scalable content strategies include authority content, case studies, white papers and podcasts that establish credibility. Repurposing, turning one long piece of content into multiple smaller ones across platforms. The key is not volume for the sake of it, but creating content that attracts the right audience and pulls them into your funnel. 2. 5. Paid advertising at scale. Organic growth is powerful, but it's rarely enough to scale into 7. Paid advertising allows you to reach new audiences quickly and predictably. The most common platforms are Facebook and Instagram ads, highly targeted, ideal for consumer-focused offers. Google ads, great for intent-driven traffic. LinkedIn ads, powerful for B2B and high-ticket services. YouTube ads, excellent for storytelling and engagement. The secret to success with ads is testing, measuring, and scaling. You don't throw money at ads blindly. You start small, find what works, then amplify it. The role of branding in scaling. At the 7-figure level, people don't just buy what you sell. They buy who you are. Branding creates emotional attachment, and emotional attachment creates loyalty. Strong brands create consistent visual and verbal identity. Deliver experiences that make customers proud to be associated with them. Think of Apple, Nike or Tesla. Their customers don't just buy, they identify. Your goal is to create that same magnetism in your own way. Partnerships and collaborations. Scaling doesn't always mean doing more alone. Strategic partnerships can catapult growth by giving you access to new audiences, credibility and distribution channel. Ways to leverage partnerships. Joint ventures. Running promotions with complementary businesses. Affiliate programs. Paying others to promote your products. Collaborations. Co-creating content, webinars or products with others in your space. Partnerships allow you to borrow trust and scale reach faster than you could on your own. Retention. The hidden growth engine. Here's a secret. Scaling is not just about getting more customers. It's about keeping the ones you already have. Customer retention is often overlooked, but it's cheaper and more profitable than acquisition. Strategies for retention include, if you can keep customers coming back, your marketing machine compounds in power. Mean metrics that matter in marketing. To avoid wasting money, you need to track the right numbers. At scale, emotions are dangerous. Data is your guide. Some must-track metrics include cost per acquisition, CPA, return on ad spend, ROAS, conversion rates at each funnel stage, customer lifetime value LTV, turn rate. When you know these numbers, scaling becomes math, not guesswork. Case study. From local business to 7 figures. Consider a small fitness coach who relied on word of mouth for years. They reached a plateau at $80,000 per year. Once they built an online funnel, created authority-driven YouTube content, and ran Facebook ads, their reach exploded. They went from 50 local clients to 500 online clients across multiple countries, scaling into 7 figures within 18 months. The lesson? Marketing isn't just about selling. It's about multiplying your impact. 11. The scaling mindset for marketing. Finally, scaling through marketing requires patience and persistence. Many entrepreneurs quit too early. They run one ad campaign, don't see immediate results and give up. But those who scale understand this. Marketing is an ongoing process. You refine, test and optimize. You don't stop when something works, you double down. The businesses that win at scale are those that build marketing engines that never sleep. Chapter 6. Building scalable sales systems. Marketing brings leads, but sales convert them into paying customers. If marketing is the engine, sales are the wheels that move the business forward. Without a strong, scalable sales process, your business will stall no matter how many leads you generate. At 6-figure stage, sales often depend on the founder, your charisma, your ability to close deals, your network. But at 7-figure stage, sales cannot rely solely on you. You need systems, teams and structures that consistently turn prospects into clients, even when you are not in the room. This chapter will break down the principles, systems and strategies needed to create a sales machine that fuels predictable revenue growth. 1. Why sales systems are non-negotiable. At scale, unpredictability is your enemy. If sales happen only when you personally pitch or close, your business is bottlenecked by your time. A sales system solves this by defining the exact journey a prospect takes, standardizing the way conversations happen, ensuring every salesperson represents the business consistently, removing reliance on luck and replacing it with repeatable processes. This way, whether you talk to 10 people or 1,000, the outcome remains steady. 2. Shifting from a founder-driven to a team-driven sales model. Many entrepreneurs get stuck because they can sell better than anyone else. That's great at the start, but dangerous when scaling. If you are the business, you have no business, you just have a job. The shift involves documenting your sales process step by step, training others to follow it, building a team that can replicate and even outperform your result. When your business no longer depends on you for sales, you've unlocked the ability to scale far beyond your personal capacity. 3. Crafting a sales playbook. Every scaling business needs a playbook, a manual that details exactly how to close deals. Your playbook should include scripts for discovery calls, demos and objections, questions that uncover customer needs, objection handling frameworks to turn no into yes, closing strategies that feel natural, not pushy, follow-up sequences that re-engage cold leads. A playbook ensures consistency, and consistency is what builds predictable revenue. 4. High-ticket versus low-ticket sales. When scaling, you must decide. Do you focus on high-ticket offers, fewer customers, higher revenue per sale, or low-ticket offers, many customers, smaller revenue per sale? High-ticket sales, great for coaches, consultants, B2B services. They often involve calls, personal touches and longer nurturing cycles. Low-ticket sales, ideal for digital products, e-commerce, or mass-market solutions. These rely on automation and volume. Some 7-figure businesses combine both. For example, they use low-ticket offers to attract customers, then upsell them into high-ticket programs. 5. The psychology of selling at scale. Scaling sales is not about manipulation. It's about understanding psychology. People buy based on emotion, then justify with logic. Psychological triggers that influence buying decisions. Scarcity, limited spots or time-bound offers, social proof, testimonials, reviews, case studies. Authority, positioning yourself as the expert. Reciprocity, giving value before asking for a sale. Clarity, making the buying decision simple and risk-free. When you master these, your sales close rates improve dramatically. 6. Sales automation and technology. Technology is your ally in scaling sales. Automation frees your team from repetitive tasks, so they can focus on closing deals. Key tools include CRM systems, HubSpot, Salesforce, Close, to manage leads, automated follow-ups through email and SMS, proposal and contract tools to streamline paperwork, analytics dashboards to track performance in real time. A business without tech is like running a marathon barefoot. You can do it, but it's unnecessarily painful. 7. Building and training a sales team. Scaling means you need more than one closer. You need a team of salespeople who operate like a well-oiled machine. Steps to build a world-class sales team. Hire based on attitude and coachability, not just experience. Train them with your playbook and role-play scenarios. Set clear KPIs, calls made, conversion rates, revenue closed. Motivate with performance-based incentives. Continuously invest in their development. A strong sales team is not just about numbers. It's about creating a culture of excellence, accountability and resilience. The power of follow-up. Here's a truth. Most sales are not closed on the first interaction. In fact, studies show that it often takes 5-12 follow-ups before a prospect says yes. Yet most businesses give up after 1 or 2 attempts. Follow-up is where fortunes are made. At scale, your system should include hire, automated reminders, personalized check-ins, ongoing nurturing content, re-offers tailored to the prospect's objections. The goal is not to pressure. It's to stay present until the timing is right. Tracking and optimizing sales performance. Numbers tell the story. Scaling sales requires ruthless attention to data. Some key metrics: lead to close conversion rate, average deal size, sales cycle length, revenue per salesperson, churn and retention rates. By analyzing these numbers, you know exactly where to optimize, whether it's generating better leads, training the team more, or improving the closing process. 10. Case study. From solo closer to sales machine. Imagine an online coaching business earning one. The founder personally closed every client. Growth hit a ceiling. There were only so many calls they could take. The breakthrough came when they documented their process, hired 2 sales reps, and implemented a CRM with automated follow-ups. Within 12 months, revenue grew past 1. The founder no longer had to close every deal, and the business had a machine that scaled independently. The takeaway: scaling sales is about removing yourself from being the bottleneck. 1. The mindset of scalable selling. Sales at the 7-figure level is not about hustling harder. It's about thinking bigger. Instead of asking, "How do I close this one deal?" you ask, "How do I build a system that closes 100 deals a month?" It's about moving from transactional selling to relationship-driven selling. Thinking in terms of lifetime customer value, not single transactions. Seeing sales as service, helping the right people say yes to the right solution. This mindset unlocks not just revenue but also long-term sustainability. Chapter 7. Mastering finances, protecting profits while you scale. When most entrepreneurs dream of scaling to 7 figures, they picture increased sales, new customers flooding in, and rapid expansion. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Revenue does not equal profit. Many 6-figure entrepreneurs race to grow, only to discover that their expenses balloon faster than their income. They hit 1 million in revenue but walk away with the same, or even less profit than they made it. This chapter will teach you how to scale without going broke, how to protect your margins, and how to build financial systems that turn cash flow into long-term wealth. The difference between revenue, profit, and cash flow. At scale, understanding these 3 numbers is non-negotiable. A. Revenue. The total money coming in. It's exciting but deceiving. Profit. What's left after expenses. This is the real scorecard. Cash flow. The actual money available at any given moment. Businesses don't fail because of lack of revenue. They fail because they run out of cash. Scaling requires mastering all 3. A business can look successful on paper but still collapse if cash is mismanaged. Why many 7-figure businesses fail. It's not lack of customers that kills businesses at this stage. It's poor financial management. Common mistakes include overspending on growth, hiring too fast, scaling ads recklessly, ignoring margins, focusing on sales while profit disappears, poor forecasting, failing to prepare for seasonal dips or unexpected expenses, no separation between business and personal finances, treating the company bank account like a personal wallet. Scaling amplifies both success and mistakes. Small leaks at 6 figures turn into floods at 7. 3. The 50-30-20 scaling framework. To protect profit margins, use a simple financial allocation system. Operations, payroll, tools, overhead, fulfillment. 30% growth, marketing, sales, commissions. Expansion, 20% profit and reserves, taxes, savings, reinvestment, emergency funds. This ensures that no matter how fast you grow, you're always protecting profit and building reserves. 4. Cash flow is king. Revenue looks good on a spreadsheet. Profit looks good in theory. But cash flow is survival. At scale, cash management becomes tricky because you may pay expenses up front while revenue comes later. Clients may delay payments. Payroll doesn't wait, but invoices often do. To manage cash flow, abasement. Always keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in reserve. Negotiate favorable payment terms with vendors. Incentivize clients to pay early, e.g. discounts for upfront payments. Use cash flow forecasting to predict shortfalls before they happen. A profitable business can still die if it runs out of liquid cash. Pricing for profitability. One of the biggest levers in scaling is pricing. Most entrepreneurs undercharge, especially at the early stages. Ask yourself, does my pricing reflect the value I deliver? Am I covering both direct costs and growth needs? Do I have premium tiers for clients who want more? Raising prices strategically can often double profit without doubling workload. At 7 figures, competing on price is a losing game. Compete on value. Profit First philosophy. Mike Mushymelowicz's book Profit First introduced a powerful principle. Instead of treating profit as what's left after expenses, take profit first, then run the business on what remains. In practice, this means setting up separate bank accounts for profit, taxes and operating expenses, allocating money into each account as soon as revenue comes in, running the business leaner because you've forced discipline into the system. This mindset shift guarantees profitability instead of hoping for it. 7. Scaling with debt versus scaling with cash. At 7 figures, opportunities for expansion arise. New hires, new markets, bigger ad budgets. The question becomes, should you use debt or reinvest cash? Scaling with debt, faster but riskier. Use only if you have predictable revenue and a proven system. Scaling with cash, slower but safer. Every dollar reinvested is already yours. The rule of thumb: use debt for scaling systems you've already proven, not experiments. Taxes and wealth protection. At 7 figures, taxes become one of your largest expenses. If you don't plan, you'll end up giving away a huge chunk of your hard-earned money. Strategies include working with a tax strategist, not just a bookkeeper, leveraging legal entity structures, LLCs, S-Corp, holding companies, writing off business expenses properly, using retirement accounts and investment vehicles for tax efficiency. The wealthy don't just earn more, they keep more. Financial dashboards and KPIs. Just as you track sales metrics, you need financial KPIs to monitor business health. Key numbers to track: EBIT capita, gross margin, the percentage of revenue left after direct costs, net profit margin, what remains after all expenses, burn rate, how quickly you spend cash reserves, customer acquisition cost, CAC, versus lifetime value LTV, runway, how many months you can survive with current cash flow. With the right dashboard, you make decisions based on data, not emotion. The role of a CFO in scaling. At some point, spreadsheets and guesswork aren't enough. A chief financial officer, CFO, even fractional or part-time, can help you advise on tax and investment strategy. Think of a CFO as your financial GPS. Without one, you're driving blind at high speed. 11. Case study. Scaling into bankruptcy. A fast-growing e-commerce business hit 1.5 million sales within 18 months. On the surface they looked successful, but they overspent on ads, underpriced their products, and carried massive inventory debt. Despite millions in revenue, they had negative cash flow and couldn't pay suppliers. The company collapsed. Lesson: growth without financial discipline is a ticking time bomb. Case study. Protecting profit while scaling. A coaching business hit $500K and wanted to grow. Instead of spending wildly on ads, they increased pricing by 20%, cut unnecessary software subscriptions, and implemented Profit First. Within 12 months, they scaled to 1.2 million with a 30% profit margin, higher than before. Lesson: Scaling doesn't just mean earning more. It means keeping more. Mindset. Think like a CEO, not a hustler. At the six-figure level, you're focused on survival, making sales, covering expenses, hustling. But at seven figures, your role changes. You must think like a wealth builder. This means protecting cash before chasing vanity metrics, playing the long game instead of chasing quick wins, seeing money as a tool for freedom, not just fuel for hustle. OAV 14. The golden rule of scaling finances. Revenue is vanity. Profit is sanity. Cash is reality. Never forget this. The businesses that thrive long-term are not the ones with the flashiest revenue numbers, but the ones that master the discipline of financial management. Chapter 8. Building teams and leadership that scale with you. At the early stages of business, you wear every hat: sales, marketing, customer service, fulfillment, and sometimes even janitor. This scrappy approach works at the start, but once you aim for seven figures, trying to do everything yourself becomes the very thing that prevents you from growing. Scaling is no longer about how much you can do. It's about how well you can lead, delegate, and build systems of people who multiply your impact. This chapter will walk you through the mindset, strategies, and structures you need to build a world-class team and culture that doesn't just support your business, but pushes it forward. 1. The shift from operator to leader. At six figures, you're the engine. At seven figures, you must become the driver. The hardest part of scaling is making the mindset shift. Ava, stop asking how can I do this? Start asking who can do this. Your value shifts from execution to vision, leadership, and decision-making. This is where many entrepreneurs get stuck. They can't let go, but without this shift, you'll hit a ceiling. 2. The myth of the lone wolf entrepreneur. The media glamorizes solo hustlers who did it all themselves, but in reality, every seven-figure business has a team behind it. Even solopreneurs rely on outsourced talent, contractors, or systems. Trying to scale alone is like trying to lift a car by yourself. The weight is too much, and eventually it crushes you. The truth: teams are not an expense, they're an investment in growth. 3. Hiring for strength, not just hands. When hiring, don't look for people to just take tasks off your plate. Look for people who are better than you at specific functions. Hire operators who can run the day-to-day more smoothly than you ever could. Great leaders hire to cover their weaknesses and double down on their strengths. 3. The first 3 critical hires. For most six-figure entrepreneurs scaling to 7, the first 3 hires should be: an operator integrator, handles systems, logistics, and execution, so you can focus on vision. A marketing sales specialist, ensures consistent revenue flow. An assistant support role, frees you from low-value tasks. These 3 positions create the foundation for sustainable scaling. For culture, eat strategy for breakfast. Peter Drucker famously said it. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Even the best systems fail if your culture is toxic. A winning culture has 3 ingredients: clarity, everyone knows the vision and their role in it; ownership, people take responsibility, not orders; growth, the business grows because the people in it are growing. Scaling without culture creates high turnover, burnout, and resentment. Scaling with culture creates loyalty, creativity, and innovation. Leadership styles that scale. There's no single leadership style, but the most effective scaling leaders combine visionary leadership, painting a clear picture of where you're going; servant leadership, removing obstacles for your team; data-driven leadership, making decisions on facts, not feelings; adaptive leadership, adjusting quickly when markets shift. The best leaders lead with clarity but empower their team with trust. A. Systems and SOPs. Scaling beyond chaos. A business without systems is a house of cards. It only stands as long as you're holding it up. Every repeatable task should have an SOP, standard operating procedure. SOPs reduce mistakes, speed up training, make your business less dependent on you. The ultimate goal: if you left for 30 days, the business would still run. 8. Managing versus leading. Managers focus on tasks. Leaders focus on people. You need both. But your role as the founder should lean toward leadership. Managing telling people what to do. Leading, inspiring people to think, grow and take ownership. Micromanagement kills scaling. Empowerment fuels it. Communication. The glue that holds teams together. Most business problems are not marketing or sales problems. They're communication problems. To scale communication, create feedback loops. Your team should feel safe bringing problems forward. Document decisions. Verbal agreements disappear. Written agreements endure. Communication clarity is what allows growth without chaos. 10. Retaining A players. Hiring is only half the battle. Keeping your best people is the real challenge. How to retain A players. Pay them fairly. They know their worth. Give them meaningful work. Provide growth opportunities. Recognize and celebrate wins. Money attracts talent. Culture and growth opportunities keep it. Delegation without abdication. Delegation doesn't mean disappearing. Too many entrepreneurs either micromanage or abandon. The right approach: set expectations clearly. Provide resources. Check results, not process. This balance creates autonomy while maintaining accountability. Case study. The micromanaging founder. A coaching business owner hit 800 SR, but couldn't break 1 mil. Why? She micromanaged every decision. Every email, every campaign. Her team felt suffocated. Good people left. The business plateaued. When she finally hired an integrator and let go of control, the business hit 1.4 million in 12 months. Lesson: control is the enemy of growth. Case study. The power of culture. A small software company scaled to 10 million, not because their product was the best, but because their team was obsessed with customer experience. They celebrated wins together, solved problems together, and held each other accountable. Their secret weapon wasn't strategy, it was culture. Lesson: culture is the multiplier of execution. 14. The leadership identity shift. At 7 figures, your business becomes a reflection not of your hustle but of your leadership. This means building leaders, not just followers. Seeing yourself less as the doer and more as the builder. Your business grows as fast as your identity as a leader grows. 15. Scaling with global teams. In today's world, scaling doesn't mean hiring everyone in-house. Many 7-figure businesses thrive by building global teams, mixing in-house leadership with remote contractors. This model saves costs, expands talent access, runs 24/7 across time zones. The challenge: keeping alignment and communication strong. The CEO's ultimate role. By the time you're at 7 figures, your role narrows down to 3 things. Vision. Where are we going? People. Do I have the right team? Money. Is the business financially healthy? Everything else can and should be delegated. 7. The multiplication effect. Here's the magic. When you build the right team and culture, growth compounds. Every person becomes a multiplier. Instead of one brain solving problems, you have 10. Instead of one person pushing, you have an arm. That's how businesses leap from 6 figures to 7 and beyond. Not by adding more hours, but by multiplying leadership. Chapter 9: Marketing at Scale. Dominating your market. When your business is small, marketing is often about getting noticed at all. You're trying to prove yourself, show up consistently, and convince the world that you exist. But as you move toward 7 figures, Marketing shifts from just being seen to becoming the authority, the trusted voice and the obvious choice in your space. Scaling isn't about doing more of the same. It's about amplifying, systemizing and innovating marketing strategies, so your message reaches not hundreds but thousands or even millions. This chapter explores the principles, strategies and real-world tactics that allow businesses to dominate their markets, build unshakable authority, and attract customers at scale. 1. The shift from selling to positioning. At the early stage you hustle for every sale. At scale, you position yourself so strongly that customers come to you. Marketing at scale means your brand represents trust. People believe you deliver. Authority. You're recognized as an expert. Relevance. Your message speaks to today's problem. Omnipresence. You're everywhere your audience is. Instead of chasing customers, you create gravity that pulls them in. 2. The law of attention. In a noisy digital age, attention is the new currency. Whoever controls attention controls the market, but attention is rented on platforms you don't own. Social media, ads. Your long-term power lies in owning attention. Email lists, communities, podcasts, and direct customer relationships. Scaling requires balancing paid, borrowed, and owned attention, so your reach grows without collapsing if a platform changes its rules. 3. The marketing flywheel. The best companies don't rely on one channel. They create a flywheel where every channel feeds the other. Content marketing builds trust. Paid ads create reach. Email marketing nurtures leads. Social proof and testimonials convert skeptics. Referrals and word of mouth amplify growth. At scale, your goal is to make marketing self-reinforcing, where every new customer brings in more customers. 4. The power of story at scale. Facts tell but stories sell. Small businesses tell stories in one-on-one sales. Large businesses scale stories through customer success videos, founder's story in the media, relatable brand narratives on social media. The bigger you grow, the more critical it is to humanize your brand with stories that resonate. Paid advertising. Scaling reach with precision. Organic reach can take you far, but ads are the accelerant. At 7 figures, paid advertising becomes a serious tool, not just a test. The difference is in execution. Scaling ads is sophisticated campaigns across multiple platforms, with retargeting, lookalike audiences, and conversion tracking. The key: don't just spend money. Engineer systems where every $1 spent returns through. 6. Owning your data. Scaling means tracking everything. Data becomes your competitive advantage. What's the cost per lead? What's the cost per acquisition? Which campaign delivers the best lifetime value? What platforms give you the best ROI? While small businesses rely on intuition, scaling businesses rely on data-driven decision. Email marketing. The most underrated scaling tool. Social media can vanish overnight. Algorithms change. Ads get expensive. But an email list is an asset you control. Scaling businesses treat email like a goldmine. Regular newsletters with value. Segmented campaigns that speak to specific customer needs. Automated follow-ups that nurture, educate and convert. At 7 figures, the money is not just in the list. It's in how well you nurture it. 8. Building omnipresence without burnout. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to look like you're everywhere. Strategies for omnipresence. Repurpose content across platforms. Use snippets, highlights, and micro-content. Leverage podcasts, guest appearances, and collaboration. Your audience should feel like no matter where they look, your brand is there. 9. Social proof as a scaling lever. At scale, people don't buy your claims, they buy your credibility. That's why testimonials, case studies, reviews, and endorsements are scaling fuel. If you want to dominate your market, showcase customer transformations, publish third-party validation, press, awards, highlight partnerships and collaborations. The more social proof you show, the less resistance you face. The psychology of scarcity and urgency. Scarcity and urgency aren't tricks. They're natural human motivators. At scale, businesses use them strategically. Limited time offers, exclusive memberships, seasonal promotion. The key is authentic scarcity. Don't fake it. Deliver real reasons why acting now benefits the customer. 11. Community marketing at scale. Communities create belonging. Belonging creates loyalty. Seven-figure businesses don't just sell products. They build tribes. Examples: a Facebook group where customers connect, a Slack channel for premium clients, live events or virtual meetups. Community-driven businesses thrive because customers aren't just buying products. They're buying identity and belonging. 12. The lifetime value mindset. Amateurs focus on the first sale. Professionals focus on lifetime value (LTV). Scaling businesses design marketing not just to close a deal, but the biggest profits aren't in the first purchase, they're in the long-term relationship. 13. Case study. The forgotten email list. An online store plateaued at $900K despite heavy ad spend. When the founder finally optimized their email campaigns, revenue jumped 30% in 3 months, without spending extra on ads. Lesson: scaling isn't just about adding more, it's about optimizing what you already have. 4. Case study. From local to global. A fitness coach started locally, with word of mouth. At 6 figures, he launched a podcast, built a YouTube channel, and began running targeted ads globally. Within 2 years, his audience grew worldwide, and revenue scaled past. Lesson: marketing at scale is about expanding reach strategically. 15. The danger of marketing bloat. Here's the trap. Many businesses try to scale by doing everything. Every social platform, every ad channel, every trend. This leads to burnout, wasted money, and diluted focus. The solution: ruthless prioritization. Double down on the few channels that produce 80% of results. 16. Brand building versus direct response. At scale, you must balance 2 approaches. Direct response marketing. Short-term campaigns designed to convert fast. Brand marketing. Long-term positioning that makes you the authority. Direct response brings cash flow. Branding builds staying power. Scaling requires both. 17. Marketing as a leadership function. At 7 figures, marketing is no longer just a department, it's the voice of the company. As CEO, your job is to cast the vision, protect the brand message, ensure consistency across every channel. Your marketing isn't just ads, it's the total perception of your company. 18. The multiplication effect of marketing. When done right, marketing creates compounding return. Each piece of content builds trust for years. Each testimonial increases conversions forever. Each campaign strengthens your brand footprint. Scaling is not about spending more. It's about creating marketing that keeps working long after you've invested in it. Chapter 10. The Roadmap to Sustainable 7-Figure Growth and Beyond. Reaching 7 figures is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new one. Many businesses scale fast, but crumble just as quickly because they don't build sustainability, systems, and resilience into their growth strategy. True wealth and freedom come from creating a business that not only scales, but also lasts, adapts, and thrives in any season. This chapter will lay out the roadmap, the principles, and the practical actions to ensure your business isn't just a shooting star, but a lasting legacy. The mindset of a sustainable 7-figure entrepreneur. At this stage, your biggest challenge isn't just operations or marketing. It's thinking differently. From hustler to artichette, Stop working only inside the business and start designing systems. From operator to leader, focus on people, culture, and vision, rather than tasks. From short-term to long-term, optimize not for next month's revenue, but for the next 5 years of compounding growth. The way you think determines the durability of your results. Protecting the foundation before scaling higher. Scaling beyond 7 figures, without shoring up the foundation, is like building a skyscraper on sand. Your foundation includes financial systems, cash reserves, proper accounting, reinvestment plans, operational resilience, backups, documentation, and repeatable processes. The stronger your foundation, the higher you can build. The power of systems and automation. At 7 figures, the old way of doing things manually will suffocate growth. Systems allow you to, example systems at scale, automated lead follow-ups, CRM pipelines with triggers, inventory and fulfillment software, dashboards that show key metrics in real time. If it can be repeated, it can be systemized. Leadership and culture as scaling engines. A company is only as strong as its people. To scale sustainably, hire slow, fire fast. Build a culture of accountability, not excuses. Promote ownership. Every team member should think like a partner. Communicate vision constantly. At 7 figures, culture is no longer optional. It's your secret competitive weapon. 5. The science of sustainable profitability. Revenue looks sexy. Profit keeps you alive. To scale beyond 7 figures, focus on cash flow. Positive cash flow beats high sales with poor collection. Reinvestment. Pour profits back into the areas with the highest return. A 7-figure business with slim margins is fragile. A 7-figure business with healthy profits is unstoppable. Expanding your income streams strategically. Once your core business is strong, expand cautiously into new streams, upsells and cross-sells. Deepen customer value. New product services. Expand offerings without diluting focus. Licensing or franchising. Scale reach with other people's effort. Strategic partnerships. Unlock new markets. Expansion should be adjacent to your strengths, not random experiments. Sustainable marketing at scale. Marketing at 7 figures is about balance. Keep campaigns running that bring consistent returns. Experiment with new channels to stay ahead. Invest in brand building that compounds over time. Avoid the trap of over-reliance on one source of leads. Diversify while protecting your best performing channels. 8. Customer obsession. As a growth strategy, scaling isn't just about acquisition. It's about retention. When customers feel valued, they buy more, stay longer, and refer others. At scale, customer experience is your growth multiplier. Strategies include A. Loyalty programs. Personal touches, even automated. Listening closely to feedback. Building communities where customers belong. Happy customers don't just buy, they sell for you. You need data to guide every move. Key metrics to track. A. Cost per acquisition. CPA. Customer lifetime value LTV. Churn rates. Employee productivity. Profitability by product service. Scaling sustainably means making decisions based on truth, not guesswork. Risk management and resilience. Every large business faces storms, recessions, regulation changes, competition, disruptions. You scale beyond 7 figures by preparing for risks before they arrive. Build cash reserves. Diversify suppliers and platforms. Have contingency plans for critical systems. Resilience ensures survival when others collapse. 11. Global thinking. Local execution. As you scale, opportunities may arise globally. The temptation is to expand everywhere. But smart entrepreneurs adapt locally, while thinking globally. Tailor offers to local markets. Respect cultural differences. Scale gradually instead of exploding overnight. Global growth should feel like an evolution, not a gamble. 12. The road beyond 7 figures. Many entrepreneurs stop dreaming after hitting 7. The truth is, 7 figures is just proof of concept at scale. The road ahead may look like 8 figures. Scaling systems into bigger markets. 9 figures. Building enterprise-level organization. Scaling sustainably means you're not just chasing money. You're creating impact, jobs, and lasting influence. 13. Case study. The fragile $1 million business. A coaching business scaled to 1.2 million revenue in 18 months, but collapsed the following year. Why? No financial discipline. No leadership structure. The founder was working 80-hour weeks, exhausted, and had no reserves. The business grew, but it was built on sand. Lesson: don't just grow big, grow strong. Case study. The durable 7-figure brand. A small e-commerce brand scaled to $7 million over 5 years. The key: strong customer loyalty, relentless focus on margins, building a remote team culture, diversifying channels while protecting profits. Today, that brand thrives because it prioritized sustainability over speed. 15. The legacy mindset. The final stage of scaling is legacy. What will your business stand for? What impact will it leave on employees, customers, and society? What future will it create for your family or your community? Scaling sustainably is about leaving behind more than revenue. It's about creating a business that outlasts you.